August 19th. I looked it up before I got on here. So it seems so, I'm all right. Shoulder hurts, legs hurt, normal. Good mood. I'm in the middle of my good days. I have bad days, good days. I have a cycle. I have many cycles. Cycles. That's what I have. Cycles and more cycles. All right. So today is Know Thyself, and it is movie day. For those of you who are new, Know Thyself is talking about movies and not just movies, but entertainment that has somehow impacted my life. And maybe not impacted right at the time, but maybe over time. Maybe that's something that's just really a favorite of mine, and the reasons why it was a favorite then and why it's a favorite now. And I do books, movies, comic books, cartoons. I do all kinds of stuff. Art, and I'll be adding the artist this time around. Anyway, so the movie is French Kiss, which stars Megan Ryan and Kevin Kline. And Timothy Hutton plays in it as Meg Ryan's fiance. And another very favorite actor of mine is, I don't think you say Gene. I think it's John. It's Jean Reno. And he played in The Professional. And Godzilla. So if you kind of need to know who he is, take a look at it. Sorry, mask's feeling a little off. I'm feeling a little off today. Anyway, so I'm not a big romantic comedy person. I have a few that I like, and I will share with them, and usually it's because of the person in them. Now, French Kiss came out in 1995, but I didn't see it in the movies. I heard about it. I remember hearing about it. I remember people talking about it. I remember people saying, you should go see it. It's kind of funny. And that was the end of it, because I'm not a huge Meg Ryan fan. Now, I've seen a lot of her movies, and I like some of them, and some I was like, whatever, I think Sleepless in Seattle is one of my favorite ones. I also liked her in Inner Space is another one I like her in. She's had a couple of them that, stand out, that said, oh, yeah, those are really great movies. I think most people think of Meg Ryan, they think of When Harry Met Sally. But I never liked the movie. It's probably because I don't really like the comedian that's in it. I mean, he's okay, and he's in other things, and I've seen him, and I know him. But I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But you all go, oh, I know him. Kevin Kline, though, was always one of my favorite actors. I saw him in A Fish Called Wanda, and then started tracking his career. And he's in a lot of Shakespeare remakes, or movie-style Shakespeare's. Midnight Summer's Dream is my favorite. My daughter really likes Shakespeare, so ever since she was small. I mean, I don't know. Don't ask me. I bought her whole works of Shakespeare when she was in 4th grade. Just her thing for a while. Anyway, so it was because of Kevin Kline that I watched the movie. And I didn't see it in the theater. And I didn't get it on DVD. I was watching it on like TNT or something. It came on. So I'd have to say probably probably a year later or 2 years later, it comes on TV and I'm watching it. And I laughed. And I loved it. The best part in the whole movie, though, for me, was when he realized he loved her. Because it makes him mad. He gets really grumpy for a brief period. And he does that whole realization. I mean, he made that whole feeling that you could feel what it felt like to realize you love somebody. And I've felt that, and hopefully some of you have felt that. And it's a feeling that has this both wonderful but bittersweet kind of aspect to it, because it kind of binds you. And if that other person doesn't love you, it's really horrific. And then in the movie, that's kind of how it seems, And then when she realizes it, it's not nearly as impactful as when he realized it. Because for him, it was more problematic because of the way he believed and the things and talked. And for her, it was just more that bittersweet, melancholy sadness. Like, oops, I made a mistake. How do I fix it? And of course, the ending is happy. We all love happy endings. Though we all wonder, where does that really go? But Romantic love isn't like that. It doesn't go on forever. It's a flash in the pan, and then you hold on tight, and you develop a relationship from that, and you have love. That's the reality. But the fantasy is that you meet that person, and you just know, right? You just know. But in their case, they meet each other, and they don't know. I mean, maybe you could say, because, if we took it out of the movie concept, maybe you could say it's they were destined to be together, and that's how they would find out. Or maybe in some aspects, it's the more you get to know somebody, the more your chemistry starts to kind of rub with them. Anyway, the synopsis of the story is that Meg Ryan plays Kate. And Kate is very fearful and anxious. She has a huge amount of anxiety. And she's about to get married. She has a fiance, that's Timothy Hutton, Charlie, who they were supposed to go to France together. And she doesn't want to go to France. She doesn't want to fly. She's afraid of flying. She doesn't want to eat the food there. She's afraid of food. She's afraid of French people. She's just afraid. And then he leaves without her to go to the seminar. That was the idea. They were going to go together. And then he calls her and says, that he's fallen in love with somebody else and that he's breaking up their engagement, which causes her to go into this really set panic. And she does the thing that she didn't think she could do. She gets on an airplane and goes to France. And thus the adventure begins. And so I could tell you that bit part of it, because getting through the first part of it is kind of weird, because it kind of has a weird feeling to it as you're watching it. You're like, well, I don't understand what's going on. But it makes sense as if you stick out through it. And then it just gets going, and it's cute. It's a cute movie, and I loved it. For me, I think what Resident was in 1995 especially, but in let's say 1997, I moved from Sacramento to Redding, and I didn't know anybody, and I was single, and I've been single a lot, and I like romance. It reminded me of a lot of the romance romance novels I had read as a kid. If you want to know, as an adult though, I've read better ones, and some of them are by Jennifer Cruzy. Oh my God, they are hilarious. They are like romantic comedies, and they are so funny. And I like those better than that. Oh, he won't look at me. But I remember reading those as a kid. As a teenager, I read a lot of those. I like romance that has action in it. So sci-fi with a romantic twist to it is really my idea of fantasy. Not where the princess is being saved, but maybe the princess and some really not good person for her get together. I like that bad boy concept. The person who believes no one's going to love them, and then this person loves them. And I think because this is about me now, not about anybody else, but about me. I think it's because I'm a very hard person to love. I don't have a problem loving other people, okay? But throughout my history of romance, it's always been, I've been afraid to commit in some aspect, because I'm afraid that if I'm going to be stuck with this person and they get tired of me, I'm going to be all alone again. Because I'm hard to love. Because I have, cycles. I have the up and down depression. It doesn't go like this, though. It kind of goes like doot, 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 doot. It's really like plateaus. And then I have the anxiety and the attachment disorder. So I'm afraid that they're going to leave me when they find out what I'm really like. So you're always on your best behavior, but then you're not really you. And then when you become you, nobody likes you. See, and that happens in personality, just friendships. Once I kind of let down my guard and I become myself, more myself, okay? In my vlogs, I'm kind of myself, but even more so myself. And you see bits and pieces of the chaoticness that is my life. People generally don't stick around. And then if they do, they kind of treat me differently. And then you add now fibromyalgia, and how old I am. And there's this whole sadness that goes along. So I don't really watch a whole lot of romantic comedies anymore because I get sad. I don't get happy anymore. I get sad. I love to watch things that make me cry, don't get me wrong. And I always could pull out French Kiss. Thing is, I have that movie memorized. I could tell you the nuances of that whole movie because I've seen it so many times. Because then I shared it with my daughter when she was old enough, and then we all watch it together. You know, as a preteen, she was getting into romance and stuff like that. So then I pulled that out, and she watched it with me, and, you know, really, really enjoyed it. There's a part where, not to give it away, but there's a part where Meg Ryan talks about the corresponding emotion with the corresponding face. Because he's trying to explain to her how French women are in comparison to American women. And it's kind of, I don't know if that's true or whatever, but it was such a funny way of trying to change her into the woman that Charlie wants. Which is something they kind of do. The underlining story of that, though, too, is that he's trying to smuggle in these diamonds that he stole while he was in America. And he puts them in her bag. And then she finds them later. But she starts to realize what's going on when he's, you know, following her around. That there's these things going on. And it's not the diamonds that it is, it's a grapevine. So you have to, I don't want to give you too much, because if you want to watch it, you should watch it. But if you're like, I'm not in a romantic comedy, I want you to be able to say, oh, I can see why somebody might like that movie. So I thought about this, you know, I always think about the week before I do my vlog, what I want to say. So then in 1997, I was searching for someone. I really was hoping to meet another person that would make me have that feeling, a person that can make me feel comfortable, a person that make me, I guess, whole or complete was the concept at the time. Now I know that's not the truth of it, because I am whole and complete all on my own. Maybe that's why I never meet anybody. But it's always bad boys. It's always people that don't want me is the people that I kind of like want. And there's a reason for that. Because if they don't want me, then they can't hurt me, right? The hurt is all on my own. It's that pining away for that person that doesn't. And I guess that's why I connected with kind of like Kate. She wanted Charlie, even though Charlie's such an ass. She still wanted him back because he's familiar. She knows how he treats her. And nothing's going to cause her to have to take that step, that fearful step that she's constantly afraid of. And so I kind of resonated with her in that aspect, except for, even though I'm anxious and fearful, I don't have a problem taking the step. I just have a problem in keeping the relationship alive. Because I'm the kind of person that says, once I love you, we're fine, good, I love you, and then we just move through life. And then what happens is, either I hit a depressed mode or I hit a manic mode. And sometimes what will happen is I'll be like, okay, I don't want to be with you forever. What if there's a better person around the corner? What if the perfect person is around the corner? And I con myself into believing that this is not the best relationship for me. Now, the only time I haven't done that, both of those relationships ended as well, but because of different circumstances. One, because that person, I wasn't their end of the world kind of person. There was too many differences to withstand for our love to hold up. I mean, we loved each other, but that love became, like it does, kind of on the even keel. And it's hard to keep the love going if you're seeking that wow factor all the time. There's not always the wow factor. I've talked to a lot of couples, and some couples do have a wow factor, but there's a point in time where the wow isn't as pounding as it was before. It wasn't what made you want to be with that person or marry that person, but it's their own personal choices of sticking with that person. When I was ready to take the chance to stay with someone, I feel it was too late. I had gone past my opportunity because I had left behind people. And then the person that I picked only saw me as a tool, like something so that they could stay where they wanted to. And I had to leave that person eventually as well. But it's very hard to love people who are depressed, and I tend to only attract people that want to abuse me because they think that I'm going to be an easy target because I have all these doubts. And people who want to abuse you look for that. They look for people that don't feel secure in themselves at times. And then they feed on that. Like my own insecurity was, I was always fearful I was a bad mother. So my partner constantly would say how bad of a mother I was, that because I was getting rid of the one person that could help, blah, blah, blah. And so you get wrapped up in this huge thing, and you know, and then you add with the punishment factor of wanting to be punished all the time because you're such a bad person because nobody loves you. So it's like this really weird psychology kind of thing going on. And where am I now in about romantic comedy? Like I said, I like to watch them. I have to be in the mood because otherwise I start to feel kind of lonely. You know, like, okay, I never found that person that made both of our light bulbs go on forever. Or why did I leave the people that made my light bulb go on forever? Or why can I not find another person that'll make that light bulb go on forever? It's kind of a sad feeling sometimes, and so I feel not like Kate in the movie anymore. I don't feel like if it came to me that I would be fearful of it as much. I think though when we look at love and people are like, oh, I just so want to be in love, I just want to, I look at love and think, how is it going to change me? How is it going to change my life? Am I willing to give up those things that are me? And that probably is why I'm not with anybody because I'm always so critical. I'm always so critical of myself, and I'm critical of them, and I'm worried that they're going to pull me into that deep, dark pool of abuse that I have been in the past because I'm not able to let go. And so then I don't even want to try. I love the movie still. It always brings a smile on my face when I think of that, when she's doing the corresponding face with the corresponding, you know, because it's just look on her face is so irritated. She's like, I just want to be me. Why can't I be me? Why can't they love me? You know, and that's that feeling is, why can't they love me? Why can't I be the person they love? Anyway, so that's French Kiss. If you like romantic comedies, take a look at it. I know there's some people, guys will say, I'm not into romantic comedies. That's fine. You know, I have a lot of guys that used to hang out with me that said, oh, I don't watch any type of romance. Give it up. A lot of movies you watch have romance in them. Even if it's just subtle amounts of romance. It's there because it's what people are attracted to romance. Everyone wants to be connected to somebody. Everybody. I don't mind being by myself, so don't, you know, like, poor Shardvixen, poor Grammy. At this point in time, you know, I can go. I always dated 10 years younger or 10 years older. Well, actually, 13 years older has been my thing, but now they're all getting really close to being the little old men you used to take care of. So I'm becoming the little old woman that everyone takes care of. So, you know, you don't see many movies of love in old age. Though I was thinking of one I could talk about down the road as Harold and Maude, but it's a sad freaking movie. So, though it is kind of a weird romantic comedy, it did come out, you know, in the 80s, I think. So, that's it. I'm done. I'll catch you all on the flip side.